So good evening, everyone. It's great to be here with all of you tonight. I hope everybody had a restful holiday last week. I want to start off my superintendent remarks by honoring one of our teachers. For those of you that don't know, but recently Kennard Middle School's Scott Wheeler, who was a longtime choir teacher, and I would say my first day on the job last year in schools, his classroom was like the second classroom that I had a chance to participate and see, and I was singing within minutes. He was so dynamic and so awesome. I wanted to honor Scott because he was a finalist for Colorado State Teacher of the Year. And while he may not have won that award, he is the Teacher of the Year in all of our hearts. And it's just a special recognition to him and the entire Kennard community. And yeah, we can do a little round of applause. There's a lot of special educators across this district, and the best part of my job is getting out into schools and seeing them in action. And I had an opportunity to visit Tavelli Elementary School on Monday following a week off of school, and they hit the ground running. Every time I go to Tavelli Elementary School, it feels like visiting my grandmother. And what I mean by that is two really specific things. They're that loving, caring feeling that, you know, like grandmothers make sure that everybody in their family and the neighbors and everybody feels. But sometimes grandmothers have the highest expectations too. And so hitting that balance between high expectations and love and belonging you can feel that energy across all of Tavelli Elementary School. I really want to thank Principal Hendricks and her assistant principal, Shirley Hires, and all of their teachers and collective staff who work together to make sure that belonging is a way of work, a way of doing school in that particular school. I had an opportunity. They elevate the music and the arts in really significant ways. They have a tremendous partnership with the Bohemian Foundation, and I think it's called Little Kids Rock. And so honoring music to have children learn about themselves and experiences and their culture, and do so while learning about each other is just really, really amazing. So as you know, we continue to do really great work together. It's important to celebrate things that are going well, but also to double down as a district on our efforts for focusing on continuous improvement. And tonight we'll focus on that. I also want to remind the public and to all of our guests is we have an opportunity to listen to a presentation on some of our student outcomes this evening that's really important that we understand that the data points that we see represent humanity and human beings. And so I really want to invite all of us today to have a curious heart, a curious mind around what we can do to have collective impact to ensure all students, not just some, thrive in this district, in this community. It is not going to be the role of this district singularly to ensure that all children have what they need to reach their full potential. It's going to take all of us to come together, and I'm really energized by the collective presence that's in this room tonight. I feel really supported, and I know our board does too, and I look forward to focusing on that specifically through the lens of mental health and belonging tonight. If there's one thing that this district does well, it is capturing data of its progress and areas of where we need to improve. And while we have data on just about everything that you can imagine in this system, we are going to focus on a subset of that data this evening that talks about what our children are telling us about how they feel, both in our school, in our community, and what we can do in terms of being responsive to that data. We have a lot of work to do to create community coherence. There are a lot of resources in this community. We're very lucky and blessed to have the resources that we have, but right now it is not meeting the demand of what our children are saying. And I really want us to be curious with our hearts and our minds and our contributions in the dialogue tonight to think about what we can do pointing forward as a community. I would also share in closing that we're continuing to refine and reiterate the work of our strategic planning process. And earlier this week, we sent out a link, I believe, to our community, our secondary students and parents and guardians and other community members as a survey to engage them thoughtfully around the recent iteration of our strategic plan. I want to be very clear here. The feedback of this community matters. This plan is not something that we want to do to people. We want to do it with and for people. And that requires people's voices to be elevated. We have had, I think, what was it, Marlena, 35 or so community engagement sessions that were in person across this community to continue to iterate. And this other round of feedback through a survey process is to continue to engage people who may not have been able to attend any of those spaces. So I look forward to continue to engage with this team, with you, in this journey together as we continue to make progress as a community. But I'm really excited and hopeful for our agenda tonight, and I thank you for the time.